my background is I was an occupational therapist for 10 years, still am, but my role was I worked in early intervention, I worked in nursing facilities, I worked in home care, and it's great to help people out, and but when you're an occupational therapist, you're working in somebody's home or you're in the hospital, you're already on the end of it where somebody has had something that has tragically happened to, whether it's a fall or an illness. And there's a lot of satisfaction in helping people in that scope. But the advantage I have with working with a company like Oakley is I can get into the homes before anything tragic has happened, any falls. I can take a look at the home. The great part about our company too is we are not, it's not a sales type of role. It's not a pitch, because when you invite somebody into your home, the last thing you want to do is for somebody to say, oh, you need this, you need that, you need the other thing. Nobody's made of money. So we want to make sure that one of the things is I try to limit costs by targeting exactly what you need as an individual. There might be 15, 16 people here today. And if I went to each and every one of the homes in your homes, I'm sure I'm going to come up with a completely different list of recommendations just based on your home's different, you're different, height, level of ability, things like that, and a need. And then also sometimes we can even do something creative, a grab bar that somebody's like, well, I don't want it to look like this. We can accommodate that, and we have many different grab bar styles. We have handrail styles. The other thing that's really important about our company is I am the assessor, so I go out and I do the recommendations, but I don't have a hammer and nail in my hand. I'm not the one that puts them in. We have our own installation team. So they're well versed in installing these modifications, making sure that they're installed correctly and nothing's damaged in the home. The other thing that's great about the company is sometimes you want that in pretty quickly. So the good thing is our turnaround time is sometimes less than a week. So if you come in, I do my home assessment. I can write up all the recommendations, kind of like a menu. You just pick from it. And then if you decide to go forward with anything, you give our office a call. They're really helpful. And then we schedule an install date for whatever items you want. And when I tell people, I said it really is like a menu. So if we go through the entire house and I list 20 items, but you call us and you say, I just want this one thing, we'll absolutely drive there, have a team, and install that one grab bar. So like I said, as an occupational therapist, I want to go into your home and I want to give you the best service I can. I want to prevent that fall, but we don't want to be pushy. We respect everybody's home. Everybody has a certain budget, but we do the best we can with that. With that stated, I'll have Melissa go to the next slide. Just quickly, briefly looking at this. So raise your hand if you've had either a fall or a near fall within the last 3 years. Okay, myself included. Pretty recently for myself. So, fortunately, I'm hoping that nobody was hurt. But it's one of those things. You can always say that, well, I'm not going to fall, but things happen, and nobody ever plans to fall. Nobody ever plans to be sick. Nobody ever plans to be hurt. So, one of the things that we want to do is we want to be at the front end of that and prevent any of this kind of thing. And it's terrific that everybody's here because everybody has the same mindset. You want to learn a little bit and you want to say, hey, maybe I've had that fall and it scared me a little bit. Or maybe you just realize that, hey, I think having a few things in my house wouldn't be a bad idea. It'd make me feel a little bit safer, and prevent any future fall. All right. So just some of the added costs. And we quickly go over that. No, don't worry about it. Those are big, scary numbers, but I think everybody kind of gets the picture with that. When I go to a home, I truly assess the entire home and also the person. So when I walk in, you've made your appointment. The way it works is I'll show up, greet you at the door, and I get to know the person before I even start. This needs to go here, this, the other thing, because one of the most important things is you. So when I go in there and I can have the most knowledge about the products that I'm going to install. If I have no idea about what your challenges are or what your preferences are, I'm probably going to put something in that you're not going to need or isn't going to be as helpful. So what I do is I'll go, we'll do intake, we'll talk to each other, and then you show me around your house. So, hey, I think this area there, I feel a little bit uneasy. How about a handrail over here? We look through your bathroom, entry into the home, or any other problem areas that you can bring up for yourself. All right, so I think everybody's an expert already. So when you look at the sidewalk over here, what are some things that you see that could be a potential hazard? Yep.
That division between the
Mm-hmm.
broken.
Exactly. And the other thing is that this picture was taken in the springtime, so you have a day like we had on Monday with some ice and snow, and it's doubly we can't see if it's pitched or anything like that. But normally, before I even meet somebody, I walk up that and I'm already thinking, okay, this could be an area that we need to take a look at. All right. So my panel of experts, what are we thinking about this? Anybody nervous about this? Yeah.
White steps.
Yep. And we see this more common than you would think. You think, oh, geez, I only see. This is something that the homeowner they had lived there for 15 years, never had any handrails. So let's go to the next one. Okay, this one's a little bit more inconspicuous, but yeah. So does anybody have like a really high step they have to go up or anything like that in their home? Or if you've ever been to an area and this particular home, there was no railings. The step was like really high. Exactly. And then you can't see it, but it's sloped a little bit too. So it could be an area where it could be a little bit dangerous. All right. Okay. So some of the things you look at, you've already looked at. If you look at the picture all the way to the right, remember that stairwell without the railings? So we put that there. One of the important things about that railing is it looks nice, right? But the other component of it, when you think about a railing, it has to be graspable. So you got to get your hand around it. It's also got a textured grip. So if it's nice to have railings, right? The safety, but also you want to be able to get your hand around it. A lot of times I see a railing and you can't really get your hand around it, or it's slippery.
What I like is it has the other one on the wall.
That's right. And then 2 is always better than 1. So and it's not just twice as good. It's probably 4 or 5 times as good. So for a safety component, and again, it looks nice. It doesn't. Some of these little modifications, they don't change the home lot, and sometimes it just makes it look a little bit better.
There's only half a car in it.
That's it. And some other things too. There are different challenges. Everybody's home's different. So that there at the back deck, yep. So we're lucky. We have our own installation team. They're skilled carpenters. This person here used a walker, so she just wanted some wide steps so she could come down with her walker. So that'd be an example of me tailoring the assessment exactly to the person. So I ask them where they want it, how they move around. I said, well, I use my walker, and think about trying to put a walker on a narrow step. It's dangerous. So we were able to design that. See that rail on that white handrail there? We added that white handrail because, again, if you look at how wide it is, you can't get your hand around it. But it wasn't adding a tremendous amount of cost. We just put a handrail on there, and just with a minimal modification, doesn't change the look of everything, but it changes the safety of everything. So come to the next one. So what if at some point that person, whether it's a loved one, yourself, or it's become difficult to get into the home? Well, the choices are, have somebody who you have to rely on to carry you up the stairs, or unfortunately, some people have to make the decision that they can no longer live in their home. So one of the great things that we do is no matter what turn your life takes you in, we can make the home accessible. And sometimes when folks do have injuries, like I noted, it speeds up their return home. We can, believe it or not, you can rent these. So, if this person had a fall, they're coming home from the hospital and they're waiting for an ankle or to heal up, they can rent that stair lift for, say, 2 months until they work with their occupational therapist or the physical therapist to be safe on stairs. So it can be sort of short term. And then for folks who just don't have the mobility level to no longer get up the stairs, instead of selling that home or living in it with somebody, they can have a stair lift. So we can, it can be outdoors or indoor. Yep. So another thing that we have when we're talking about rentals, yeah, so think about somebody who is coming home and had that fracture. A lot of times as an occupational therapist, I'll be working with somebody who unfortunately did have a fall, and they have to spend a prolonged period of time in the hospital. And some of the goals we have is, well, we can discharge you when you can do X number of steps. So I had a unique perspective of working in a hospital, but also working in the home. And a lot of times people make better recoveries at home because you're just motivated to do things and you're in your comfort of your own home. So instead of waiting until you can actually do 2 or 3 steps, you can rent one of these ramps, and they can be removed without any changes to the home. And of course, if an individual has an impaired level of mobility and they want to stay in their own home, well, they can also purchase these, and they go in like that 7 to 10 day timeline I talked to you about. Within 7 to 10 days, it's installed in 1 day. So there's no period, and it's much more cost effective than a wooden ramp, say. Yep. All right, and this is just this is a particular condo. So we talked about a ramp. A ramp needs space, right? This is it's almost like an outdoor elevator. So it brings people up to that level, so you don't need any no ramp to push people up. Sometimes when the individual doesn't even have the strength to push up a long ramp, they have this, and that makes the home independent. Obviously a larger purchase, but the way I always look at it is, if you love your home and you want to stay, this is a lot cheaper than selling the home and doing something else. So it's not to show, and it probably doesn't apply to anybody here, but it's nice to know that we have option today to stay in the home, and that's where a lot of recovery and things are moving, is staying in your home as long as possible, right? All right, there's another picture of our home. All right, so here we go. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so here's a little, I put little quizzes in here for you. So over 1 million falls occur in this area of the home. The second leading cause of injury, regardless of age, behind only motor vehicles. If you fall in this area, you have more than 100 pounds of additional force to cause injury. What are you thinking? Bathroom, because a good guess, but what? Yeah. It's actually a stairwell. So when you think about the additional force, right? Even if you're falling from 1 step, right? That's much higher, right? And then, if you're falling in the middle of the stairs, you're hitting something that's very, very hard. And you can see some of the stairs they have there. This is a basement stairwell. Very common that people have something that's, and we have in New England, we have old housing stock, and building codes are a little different then than they are now if somebody builds a brand new house. So the stairs are often steep like this. And as you can see, when we talk about handrails, I always say that 2 is much better than 1. There's nothing on that side, and unfortunately, if somebody were to fall off that side, that fall could be, really, really tragic. So when I go in there, a lot of times, I'll assess the person's mobility. If somebody just needs a little bit more safety and security, and I see the way they move around, I recommend a handrail. If I assess the person and I think that no matter what, that area is going to be unsafe, even with 2 rails, I'll recommend a stair lift. So a lot of times in the basement, sometimes there's entry outside the garage. So sometimes that's a great way to get in and out of the home barrier free. So I look at that as well. Curved staircases, you can see those there. They can be quite dangerous too. We have solutions pretty much for any kind of stairwell you have. Curved, straight. Curved stairwells are a bit more expensive, but again, it's a solution. Yep. All right, and here's a couple of areas I had here. So this one, yes, the two railings. Yep. And then one of the things I want to note about the handrail there is remember when I talked about you getting your hand around it? So that's a poplar handrail. So yes, we can match it so it's attractive, but we are an accessibility company. So all of our products we've geared towards being functional. So it's really going to help you out to have a handrail that you can get your hand around, you get a nice grip onto.
So if someone slips in that stair and grabs the handrail, it won't pull out the wall.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's the
Yeah.
most important thing.
That's right. And again, yeah, we have the stair lift. We have it for the curved stair lift. So, like I said, there's a lot of folks who, and sometimes I go into a home and they're doing fine, but they tell me a story that they no longer go upstairs. They value the area that's there, but they just, they might have a recreation room up there. They might have a bathroom that they enjoy up there, and they say, the stairs have become a barrier. I have a 2-floor home, and I can only use half of it. Well, having a stair lift, you go in it, and it instantly improves the accessibility up there and improves the quality of life. It's not just about, and might not even be somebody who's injured, right? It might be somebody who's just feeling a little bit nervous in the stairwell and just has closed that off as an option. But again, it's all about not what it takes away, but what it adds. So if you add that stair lift, you're adding your value back to your home. Yep. And this fancy thing that looks like a time machine is a indoor elevator. Believe it or not, that can be an option too. You have a little picture there. They go in quite quick, so it's probably we can get these in all the construction within 3 days. It's rope driven. It's cable driven, so there's no elevator shaft or anything like that. If some people don't, I like the look of it, but some people want it to be sort of hidden, so it can go inside a larger size closet too. But it's really helpful for folks who they have one of those houses that it's multi-tiered. They have 3 levels of the home, and now it's becoming difficult. They add that elevator, and they have access to 3 floors, no stairs, nothing like that. Doesn't take up any space. And then you look at it, and it could be in anybody's home, not just somebody who's aging in place. All right, what room am I? Activities in this room account for 47% of all house fires. The third most likely area where a fall may occur in the home. Loss of independence in this area may contribute to malnutrition and dehydration. Yep. What do you guys think? Oh, kitchen. Everybody got it. Yes. Yeah. So this area isn't as, sometimes it's overlooked a bit. When I go into a home, most people say like you're thinking bathroom, stairwell, sometimes bedroom. But kitchen can be a place that can be hazardous, right? Especially if somebody enjoys working in the kitchen. So some of the things that we can put in the kitchen, sometimes grab bars, right? So one of the things that I find to be quite dangerous is opening the refrigerator door. Sometimes as you pull, you can lose your balance to go back. So little trinkets like that, like on the to open jars, things like that. My mom sprained her wrist about a couple years ago, opened a jar of pickles. So I had to get her one of those. Yeah. So it's not just falls, sometimes it's just injury in general. Microwave can be more convenient as somebody gets a bit older and maybe has said that, it's a big process to cook a whole well-course meal. Sometimes having that microwave isn't a bad idea. All right. And next. Okay, what room am I? Inadequate lighting, poor lighting are major contributors in this area. Orthostatic hypotension and vertigo, which is like lightheadedness, you get up too quick. A higher prevalence due to quick position changes following long periods in one position. That's one of the keys. Incontinence issues often have highest impact in this area of the home. dynamic seated and lying position. The height of the surface is often too high and contributes to falls. Okay, what area are you in most often in the same position for a while? Yeah, very good, very good. That's exactly what it is. So come over here. Yep. So the bedroom again. So these are a couple houses I see here. I'm finding more and more likely that the pet is moving into your family pet is moving into the bedroom there. So yeah, yeah. Why they make a great great company right on the side here. They can be they can lead to falls. So don't and you can look over here. You can see that stool there. Yeah, it's kind of like you're kind of doing some kind of chair yoga or something. You don't want to do that. And it's also, you can kind of see the height of the bed. Think about trying to sit on it. Have you ever sat on a really high position? You feel like you're sliding off a little bit. So, yeah. So I see a lot of falls as an occupational therapist. Would oftentimes happen in the bedroom. Not a catastrophic one, but one where you slid off the bed, but you can't get up now because you're kind of scrunched up in that position. And we got some modifications for that, so I'll switch over that. Okay, so some things that I mentioned too don't cost any money. Sometimes just taking out the box spring is an option, right? If it's really high. If it's too low, you can even put some furniture blocks underneath it to keep the height of the bed, because the height of the bed is really important, right? If it's too high, yeah, you're at risk of sliding off. If it's too low, it's gonna be hard to get off. So some of the nice and easy modifications, simple bed rail can be nice. And then that person who has a really high bed, option wasn't to take out the box spring. They just didn't want to. This is a big improvement over that other stool that we have that has a nice LED light on it. It's wide. It's got a nice wide step height. The LED is motion activated, so as soon as you step down, it comes on. Exactly. On the side there, that thing, it's a tension mounted floor to ceiling pole. So tension mounts. Yeah. That's what everyone says. Yeah. So that one you can kind of pull up. Yep. And then it can be removed. It's not like we're not putting holes in the floor. If that person needs a little bit to pull up, perfect option.
And that Superfall has tons of attachments.
Yeah, a lot of versatility there. Some people have polarized, no pun intended, about that. All right, so the next one. All right, what room am I? Up to 80% of the falls in the home occur in this room. Over 19,000 people a year lose their lives completing activities in this area. 33% of elderly were hospitalized after an incident in this area of the home. Slick and hard surfaces often contribute to the prevalence and severity of falls in this area. That was the key word. Bathroom. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So this, honestly, I'd say 90% of the calls that we have to do with the bathroom. Somebody usually when you have started to notice that if you had to think in your head, like, what area of the home presents the biggest challenge or most worried about, it's usually the bathroom. Sometimes stairwell is a close second, but bathrooms today, you can see that tub wall. I don't know anybody. I don't take tubs. I use a shower, but that can be a huge barrier. You think about the combination of the slick surfaces, water, and then standing up on one leg to get over a tub wall that's sometimes 21 inches high. Yeah, and what area of life would you do that same task?
The jacuzzi tubs are higher.
Yes.
That's what we have.
Most of the time when I see jacuzzi tubs, people mostly put their plants in there and they don't use it. So that's yeah. That's young and old. So I was like, okay. I think the percentage is like 90% plants, 10% use it. Yep. And so, all right. So again, like one of the things that's most important, what most dangerous about it is, as you step over something, right? If you're lifting your leg up this high, you want to grab somewhere to stabilize your balance. What percentage of bathrooms have that? In a home, it's probably close to zero, right? It's not really practical. Most bathrooms aren't made to age in place. It's just It's put in there to shower, to bathe, but nothing for longevity. All right. So come on. In what area of the home, if you had to think about it, raise your hand if you agree that the bathroom it probably makes you the most nervous.
Oh, yeah.
I get that. Yeah. Yes, me too. All right. Next, we got here. So some of the choices that you think about. So how about that tub wall? What can we do? Some people are like, well, do I have to rip that whole tub out? That's a big cost. Some of the things that we can do, obviously, there are sometimes just putting a grab bar there, you're able to step over and it's fine. Yeah. For some people, even with a grab bar, it just makes them a bit nervous. You can do a tub cut that's, usually under $1,500 compared to, $15,000 or $16,000 renovation on a bathroom. And again, can be completed in one day. So other things like people love their glass shower doors, but they present a lot of challenges. So they look nice, but they limit access. And most people, when they come out of the tub, if they have those glass doors, they tend to grab onto them.
Right, yeah.
But they're not really made to bear any weight. So sometimes what I recommend is changing those out for a shower curtain. We can still do like a nice curved shower curtain that's mounted. You open it up, it improves access. It still looks nice. It maintains the beauty of the home, but it's a great step to take to improve your safety in the bathroom. Bathroom and grab bars. Again, we have a bathroom over here with somebody wanted to go with a bronze grab bar, and that was great. And some other choices for this is a little bit different. See how there's no wall there? Like, where do I put a grab bar, right? Everybody's got these different bathrooms. So again, one of those tension mounted floor to ceiling poles, we put that there, and then that person can get in and out safely.
And it can be used with the toilet as well.
Yes, toilet, yep.
I just wanted to add the shower doors as well. You don't just grab onto them, but it also is limiting the amount of space. You're lifting your leg a little higher because of the track.
Yeah.
A couple inches doesn't seem like a lot. And you're also narrowing that amount of space that you have to climb in because that shower door is not going over all the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just making more movement. It makes it dangerous. All right, you ready?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so we have different grab bars here. Again, minimally invasive, strategically placed. It can just be one. Yeah, person wanted one there. The bathroom over here is a more of a roll-in shower. So that person felt more. There's no lip at all. So we can do everything from that one grab bar, and we have a good referral source that does full bathroom remodels because sometimes that's really that person is at that stage of their life that it's time to do just a full bathroom remodel. Yeah. Come through here. So the different tub cuts we have. So the tub cut, you see that here. If that person still does like to use it as a tub, maybe they have grandchildren that bring over. We have a tub cut that has an insert, so that insert can go back in, and they can still utilize the tub. Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And sometimes seated, yeah, sometimes just especially when you're standing in a shower. Some people, I had somebody who just had consistent vertigo and they just didn't feel comfortable standing even with a grab bar. Something that is easy to install is a shower seat. Now there's different types, right? The one on the right there, that's for somebody who wants to take a tub still, but they can't get out of there. So it lowers them down. So it's battery powered and brings them back up to that position. Tub transfer benches, again, is a nice idea too. Instead of stepping over that tub, sit, and then you can scoot over. It's just like getting in the car. It doesn't cost a lot of money, right? It can be installed in one day. And again, you're not bringing down walls, but you've improved the safety of your home, right? All right, next one. And then solutions getting on and off the toilet. So everything from that nice conservative choice, which is just one grab bar, you'll be surprised how much just one grab bar can help you.
My friend grabbed the seat.
Yes. Yep. Oh, no, don't want to do that. And then, so the grab bar, you're able to pull to get up. Not only that, if you're in standing and you're pulling your pants up, you have something to grab onto if you lose your balance. A raised height toilet seat right there. So a little bit different from a lot of the ones that you may be familiar with that kind of just sit in the toilet and there's no, this one is just a spacer and the toilet seat goes on top of it. So it adds that height, but you still just have a toilet seat. You're not sitting on some plastic thing. And then the more aggressive modification for that person who just has a really tough time getting up, that's called a toilet tilt. And it's almost like you have seen those recliner chairs that lift you up. Same principle. Yep. And next one. All right. And again, some barrier-free solutions. So one choice to do a barrier-free, which means even if that person, their mobility level is, say, wheelchair level, they can make it in and out of the bathroom. They can be rolled in. And then there's a special system, shower seating system. It's called the Shower Buddy. Even if you have a tub or a shower with a lip, it actually clicks in and will slide you across. So, yep, and it's, again, it's a cost-effective alternative to a full bathroom remodel. Is a full bathroom remodel good? Yeah, it's great, but a lot of people, it's just not in their budget, right? Okay, additional equipment. Like I said, this is a good example of no matter what level of ability or disability you have, you still have the ability to stay in your home. Believe it or not, this system on the left, there's an independent lift system. So the person actually can control that lift up and down and bring themselves into the wheelchair. So even if this particular person had a spinal cord injury when they were very young, so they didn't have the ability to stand, they were doing slide board transfers. But this one here would pick them up, bring over, and then get right to the power chair. So no transfers, everything like that, improved safety.
Better than a Hoyer lift.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Hoyer lifts take 2 people sometimes to work. Yep.
By law.
Yep. And then you can click past this. All right, sit to stand lifts, again, for the folks that are a little bit more mobility impaired. We do some trainings on these type of things. But again, this is where I come in as an assessor. You know, I look at, most people fall into the category of needing grab bars. But sometimes, for the caregiver's sake and for that person's sake as far as safety, sometimes these lifts are the best way to go for that particular person. Lift chairs, this nice comfy lift chairs. So we also have those. They're really helpful. The ones that we have, they're called golden chairs. They're a bit more expensive, but they have like a zero gravity mode, so they can actually be turned into like a bed. So a lot of people who don't have they might have an upstairs bedroom and be recovering. They can sleep in these chairs. It's great for pressure relief for the folks who don't have a great mobility level. It's comfortable and it prevents pressure sores. But we have one.
With different widths?
Yeah, so it's a different widths, different. Comes in they call Bristol, which is like leather. But you can have all different styles. If you look through the catalog, there's like 15 or 20 different options in there. So, yep. All right. All right. So again, we went through all these products, but the most important thing about the products that we showed today is not the actual product, it's the person, right? Some of these products that I showed, you might look at and you'd be like, that kind of like resonates with me. This is something that it could be useful. And other ones just, well, I couldn't see myself using that, or doesn't really resonate with me. But the most important thing is there's hundreds and maybe thousands of modifications out there. And there's one that's always going to be perfect for you. And my job as an assessor is to go there and figure out what's going to work best for you and best for your family. There we go. Click through. All right. Again, yep, keep clicking through. All right, so what can you do? So we are a completely free service as far as the free home assessment goes. So even if you're just thinking about something, like I said, I don't go in there with a sales pitch. I go in there with, I feel like an occupational therapist, like I am, just going in and assessing you, and I have no incentive to upsell anything. You know, I want to go in there and I want to give you the exact product that you need. With the goals, you know, whether it's, the style that you like or there's this particular area that you're just concerned about, that's what I focus on. Yep. All right, so again, click through that. And as far as funding, so we talked about prices. What we do, we're lucky in Rhode Island, there's a grant that will reimburse up to $4,000 of the modifications to somebody's home that underneath $78,700. As a Massachusetts resident myself, I am really, and our company is really pitching to have something similar like this in Massachusetts. So I know legislation takes a little bit of time, but a lot of these insurance, unfortunately, doesn't cover the cost of a lot of these, stair lifts, the bigger ticket items. You would think that with your insurance company, somebody's in a tough position might pay for some of these. Unfortunately, we do have an imperfect system, and we try to we realize that, and we try to do our best, like I said, of giving rental options and lower cost options for you. We'll look out for different organizations. If somebody can't afford something, we'll help them find equipment loan closets too, to find some, like a lot of seating choices like tub transfer bench can be available through Councils on Aging, the Elks Club, things like that. And like I said, even if we're not, it's not my job to try to increase the profit for the company. My job is solely to help you. So even there's no, there's no monetary reason for me to find this for you. It's my job to basically help you out in the best capacity that I can. And sometimes that's just finding the best funding you can and find out some of the things that can be donated as well. All right. And there we go. Click through. And again, we have that bill that's coming up. But when you think about something that will reimburse 50% of your home modification, it just opens up a lot of different things to you as far as financially, Okay.
And that's something that's actively being worked on right now, is to pass that bill for Massachusetts. That's like the one we have in Rhode Island, so people can get reimbursed as well if they qualify.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. So I just want to see if anybody has any questions about anything that we went over. It's quite a bit of information, but a lot of it is just to sort of show you that we're able to help you, and that you don't have to feel like somebody's being pushy or salesy. All right, great. Thank you, guys.